Citroen's C4 Cactus hatch gets a reboot in this much improved form. It's a little less extrovert in this guise, but still fashion-led and highly personalisable. These are attributes which should play well for buyers seeking something a little different in the more conventional family hatch sector, where Citroen has now repositioned this product. The key changes here come as part of the company's Advanced Comfort programme, which has brought more supportive seats and a clever new suspension system. So, charisma and comfort take centre stage in a very individual little family car. Remember when Citroen cars represented an affordable benchmark for ride comfort? This improved C4 Cactus reminds me of that era thanks to its clever progressive hydraulic cushion suspension system, which delivers a class-leading standard of ride over poorer surfaces. Hydraulic dampers cushion the top and bottom of wheel travel and allow the fitment of softer springs and dampers, producing what Citroen describes as a magic carpet-like feel. Thick, quilted, advanced comfort front seats further embellish the feeling of Gallic luxury. Even better, the whole thing seems to have been installed in a way that doesn't leave this Cactus pitching about too much through the corners. Sure, there's a little more body roll than you'd get with most rivals, certainly enough to dissuade you from pushing on too hard through tighter bends unless you absolutely have to. But that's not too much of an issue. Enthusiasts won't be buying this car anyway. Most customers will be choosing a petrol engine, probably the PureTech 110 unit that we're trying here, which is capable of 65.7 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and 100 grams per kilometre of CO2. That's in manual form. There's also an auto option. Citroen has additionally added a perkier PureTech 130 version of this 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol turbo unit to the range. As before, there's a 1.6 litre Blue HDI 100 diesel option if you want it, and for higher mileage drivers, a Blue HDI 120 variant with auto transmission. Rarely has a car been so characterised by a single styling feature as was the original version of this model. At its launch in 2014, the so-called air bump panels slathered over its sides like slabs of dairy milk chocolate were all people wanted to talk about. The air bumps haven't disappeared entirely with this revised model, but they've shrunk in size to a point where people will probably no longer notice them. There are more signs of maturity at the front, which now has the look of a proper car rather than an overgrown Tonka toy. As before, there's a two-tier lighting signature, but now the upper daytime running light strip flows into the kind of broad Citroen signature grille that features on other models in the company's range. Inside, the changes made to create this improved model are less obvious until you start to inspect the generously proportioned advanced comfort seats, which are completely new. Otherwise, the minimalistic cabin with its designer flourishes remains much as before. So you get door handles inspired by luggage straps and what is probably my favourite feature, this huge stylised lidded glove box. Citroen likes to call it a top box. The reason it's so big is that the dashboard doesn't have to swallow a passenger airbag. This feature instead moved up to the roof, where it's mounted just under the headlining. Otherwise, the atmosphere is simple and so free from button clutter that it borders on feeling rather sparse. That's because the operational functionality of the car is confined almost completely to a couple of digital LCD screens, the smaller of the two visible through this rather ugly but very Citroen-esque three-spoke steering wheel. Switch your gaze to the middle of the fascia and you'll find buttons and switchgear notable by their absence, almost everything instead having been moved onto a 7-inch colour touchscreen. Time to use the wide opening doors, take a seat in the rear and put the practical promises Citroen has made with this car to the test, principally those suggesting family hatch standards of space despite the Super Mini underpinnings. In terms of legroom, this model delivers on those claims thanks to a platform that's been stretched so as to provide a class competitive wheelbase length. The designers have also done their best to make this revised model feel a little more spacious than its predecessor, resculpting the door panels to increase elbow room and hollowing out the front seat backs to increase knee space. But there is a problem. Citroen hasn't sorted out proper wind-up windows for these rear doors, which means that this Cactus continues to be stuck with these pop-out side glass panels. Time to take a look in the boot. The plastic tailgate's super light, and when you raise it, you'll find the same 358-litre capacity that was on offer before. We're pleased to find two key practical changes here that have been made with the revised version of this car. This time round, a proper 60-40 split makes an appearance, and equally welcome is the brand's decision to include a space-saver spare wheel beneath the cargo area base across the range. The original C4 Cactus was the car that rejuvenated the Citroen brand and paved the way for the more distinctive C3 and C5 models that followed it. Has it lost a little of its joie de vivre in this revised guise? Not really, it's just a little less eccentric. Which leaves us with what? A car Citroen hopes that target buyers will see as simple, stylish and comfortably cool. A car that makes frugality a little more fun. That's a concept we could all buy into.